Hey YouTube, we just wanted to make a video about how we sort and separate our Canadian nickels. It can be quite confusing at times. There's a lot of different varieties of nickels, particularly after World War II. The composition changes quite a bit and they also change in shape and size. So we'll just run you through what we're looking for. But basically, as you'll see in a minute, we're looking for just the 99.9% nickel nickels. And as you can see, these box of nickels, you can buy the box for $100. But with the nickel nickels, the 99.9% ones, you're only going to find about 10% of those anyway. So you're not going to be keeping the whole $100 box. Now, we haven't been doing nickels too long. We started a little bit over a year ago, just getting a random box here and there whenever we were picking up pennies. But now what we do is we've just added a box of nickels to our weekly penny pickup. If you've seen our other videos, we get 2 boxes of pennies and 1 box of nickels. We're probably going to do some more, but that's working out pretty good right now for us. Alright, so I'll take you over and let's look at some of the varieties that we're looking for. Alright, so taking a look at the composition that you'll be coming across when going through a box of nickels. Starting with the coins on the left, those ones are 99.9% nickel nickels. Again, those ones go from 1963 to 1981. The coin in the middle, that's a copper nickel, which means it's 75% copper and 25% nickel. Lastly, the coin on the far right, that's the modern day steel nickels. Again, they have 94.5% steel, 3.5% copper, and then a 2% nickel plating. Now right now we're only keeping the coins that you see on the left, the 99.9% nickel bullion. Obviously the steel nickels, their melt value, it's not worth keeping. But again, some people keep those copper nickels and others don't. Right now I believe the melt value of that coin is right around 5 cents, but depending on nickel and copper's price, can fluctuate a little bit higher and a little bit lower. And they probably will be worth quite a bit more than the $5 face value. But right now we're not keeping them primarily due to cost reasons. Again, they're about 30 to 40% of the box, which means we would have to keep about $30 to $40 extra of nickels a week. And right now my brother and I, we're just students, so it doesn't really make sense to keep those coins for us right now. We stick to just the nickel bullion that you see on the left. But it just basically comes down to preference and what you're looking for. Let's take a look and we'll move on to the numismatic coins that we keep off to the side and separate from these coins here. Alright, so as you can see there's quite a bit of variety. Let's start in with the coin on the left. This is a 1935 King George V nickel. King George V nickels made out of 99.9% nickels were made in 1922 to 1936. And they're easy to spot just because they don't have the beaver on the front. Instead they have the lettering 5 cents and the 2 large Canadian maple leafs. And again, just flipping this coin around, there's King George V with his crown on. Now these King George VI nickels is where it gets kind of confusing. The next 4 coins, those are all King George VI, as I'll show you the back in a second. From 1937 to 1942, which includes the 1941 you see there, those were made out of 99.9% nickel. However, in 1942 to 1943, it changed to 88% copper and 12% zinc. However, in 1944 to 1945, the composition was chrome-plated steel, and you can see that there with the Canadian Victory nickel, 1945. However, it changed back to nickel, 99.9%, again from 1946 to 1951. However, in 1951 to 1954, it changed again to chrome-plated steel. So again, just flipping these around to show you King George VI. This one is chrome-plated steel. Again, this 1951 commemorative coin, that can be either 99.9% nickel or chrome-plated steel. Just from looking at it and comparing these 2 coins, this one being chrome-plated steel, this one also looks like it's not nickel and is chrome-plated steel. Again, as I mentioned, this one chrome-plated steel as well. And this 1941 is the 99.9% nickel. So if you're buying nickels for their bullion value, just be careful that you're not getting any of these chrome-plated steel nickels in there as well. You want to stick to just the bullion, so make sure you understand which years are 99.9% nickel and which years are the chrome-plated steel coins. And lastly, this 1961 nickel has the young queen portrait on the back. This one changed back to 99.9% nickel from 1955 to 1962. Now you're also going to find quite a bit of American nickels. This is a 1939. We keep anything that's before 1960, basically just for the numismatic value, but make sure you're on the lookout for the American War nickels, which go from 1942 to 1945. Again, those ones have silver in them, so they're definitely worth keeping off to the side, separate from the other ones as well. Alright, so hopefully that answered some of your questions with the Canadian nickels. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And also we would appreciate it if you like the video and also subscribe to our channel. And thank you to everyone who's done so as well. Alright, that's it for now, guys. Talk to you soon.